So we have a trig problem here. It's a multiple choice trig problem, so we know we're going to come up with one answer. Mr. Savage, how would you start off a trig problem? What would you do?
So when I start with a trig problem, I need to identify what I'm solving for and what is given to me. So the first thing I'm going to do, I'm going to go ahead and circle my angle. I'm given the angle 29.7 degrees. That's going to be my theta. I'm also given 20 feet, and I'm given h. That's what I'm looking for. So not to determine what all my pieces are. So this is my angle theta, 20. Well, if I put my hand on theta, I'm touching 20. So 20 is my adjacent side. So we'll put ADJ for adjacent. And if I look at h, well, h is across from theta. So that's my opposite. So what am I going to do from here now that I have everything labeled?
Well, I know that I have my opposite. Even though it says h, it's really the opposite side. We don't want to confuse that with the hypotenuse. So I have opposite and I have adjacent. I'm going to go to my SOHCAHTOA, say which one has O for opposite and A for adjacent, and I see it's T, and T stands for tangent. So I'm just going to write down my equation. Tangent of my angle, I'm going to call it theta, equals opposite over adjacent. I've got 3 parts there, and I have 1, 2, 3 parts here. So I'm just going to plug in what I have. Tangent, my angle is 29.7. And then my opposite side, I'm going to call h. In our calculator, we're going to use h. We use x, so let's keep that in mind. And my adjacent side is going to be 20 feet. Where do I go from here, Mr. Savage?
All right, well, from here, we're going to take what we know, and we're going to plug it into our calculator. So we go to our calculator, and we're going to go to y equals. In the first spot, I'm going to put, well, we know we need tangent. So there's tangent, and our angle was 29.7 degrees. Next, I have to put in my other side. It was my h, or x, that we're going to use in our calculator over 20. So we're going to go ahead, go to our calculator, and we're going to do alpha y equals, and hit enter. That brings up my fraction. On top, I'm going to put x, and on bottom, I'm going to put 20. All right, and from here.
Okay, so we're using y1, y2. So this is one of our skills. We're going to actually graph this. Remember our windows from negative 300 to 300 and negative 3 to 300. We want to make sure it's also in degree mode, because we'll get a totally different answer if it's not in degree mode. So we did all that in the beginning before we even started our question. So I see that they cross. Now what I'm going to do is I want to find that point of intersection. I'm going to do second, trace, 5, which is intersect. Press enter, right arrow, enter, enter. And we get x is 11.407, so 11.4. So I'm going to write that. We have x, or really h here. H is 11.4. So, Mr. Savage, I don't see 11.4 over here. Where do we go from here?
So that is a great point. So 11.4, well, what they did, they took our answer and they rounded it down because it's less than 5. So 11.4, if we round down, well, we're going to get 11.